So we've been looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the most famous management theory in the world. But I just want to spend a little bit of time with you now talking about the management potato, which is something that I invented. It's in my book of management vegetables. Are potatoes a vegetable? I think they are. So the management potato is about thanking people. And I want you to thank someone today, right? But I want to explain why this is so important. Because most bosses tend to be negative. Most bosses tend to focus on the problem areas because those are the things that need to be fixed. But if you criticize somebody, it's not good for them. And in fact, criticism is 10 times as powerful as thanking somebody. So ideally, for every 10 times you thank somebody, you can only criticize them once. But even then, you're still only back to the start. If you thank somebody 10 times, you criticize them once, you're back to the start on your motivational level, which is crazy. And in fact, a lot of bosses, it's 50-50. So you get one criticism and one thanking, and the criticism is much more powerful and then you're demoralized. So what I'm saying is, you've got to thank people at least 10 times as often as you criticize them. Ideally, you would never criticize them. So ideally, you would thank people a lot, because if you criticize someone, their potato of performance gets smaller and smaller, they get less and less happy, and eventually you end up with a prune. You end up with the prune of performance. And we've all had this, haven't we, in the past? We've all experienced bosses who've criticized us. And what you do is you just think, well, I'm going to avoid that because I always get grief when it goes wrong. And I'm so unhappy about my boss giving me, I'm just going to do less and less. And you end up doing almost nothing. You become a prune. And that's crazy. So what I'm saying is, if you think about the potato of performance, don't focus in on the one bad bit and keep picking away at the potato, making it smaller. What you should do is find something good and tell them they've done a good job. And then you can grow the potato and make it bigger. Because if you focus on good things, then people would think, well, I was thanked for that and they noticed that, so that's really good. I'm going to do a bit more of that. And we want to encourage them to do more and more. So the game is to grow the good stuff by noticing it and thanking people for it. And I think ideally you would thank everyone who works for you every week. So if you've got 10 people working for you, that's 2 people a day you've got to thank. But thanking people only takes a minute, so it's absolutely doable. But remember, you've got to thank them for something real that they've done. You can't just say, oh, I think you're wonderful. That's no good. You've got to say, thanks for staying on late and sorting out that problem with the customer. So you've got to thank them for something real that they've done. And that means that you have to know what they're doing. And if that's a hassle for you, then I'm sorry, but that's life. You've got to know what everyone's doing. But of course, if you're doing management by wandering about and you're talking to people every day and you're seeing things, then it's going to be easy because you're going to notice things that you can thank them for. And if you have a team meeting and everybody's comparing notes every week on what they're all doing, then that also gives you some ammunition that you can thank people for doing. So you have to know what they're doing and you have to thank everyone every week. So what I want you to do, your job to do from this video, is to thank one person who you don't normally thank. Find somebody you've neglected and find something good they've done and thank them.